Alright, algebra, this is what we're going to do today. We're going to do solving one-step inequalities. You are going to get this pretty easy because it's just like solving one-step equations. The only difference is they're inequalities. They're not equal to. Not a big deal though. You treat them the same way. So let me show you an example. X plus 4 is less than 2. Now if this was x plus 4 is equal to 2, what we would do to solve it would be we would subtract 4 from both sides, and we would get x equals negative 2. Well, guess what? This is the same way. What we're going to do is we're going to draw our line, and we're going to bring this sign down. Don't switch that sign. It has to be exactly the same way. You're just bringing it down just like the equal sign. You subtract 4 on both sides, and you get x is less than negative 2. That means if I plug in a number that's less than negative 2 where x is, it would make that statement true. So let's check it out. Think of a number less than negative 2. How about negative 3? So when I have x plus 4 is less than 2, I'm going to plug in a negative 3, which satisfies this, into my x right here, then it should be true based on the math that we did. So let's do it. Negative 3 plus 4 has to be less than 2. Well, negative 3 plus 4 is 1. And is that less than 2? Yeah. So it makes this statement true. Now negative 2 or negative 3 is not the only answer. Negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, even the decimals in between each one of those numbers. Anything less than negative 2 is the answer to this problem. Let's do another one. This is times 2x. 2 times x is greater than 10. So what we would do is draw our line so we know that this has to be greater than. We would divide both sides by 2. 2's cross out, and you get x is greater than 5. That's it. That's our answer. Now, one thing I didn't show you in the last one because I was showing you how it worked is that every time you do an equation like this, you have to graph it to show your answer. So you have to have a number line. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we got negatives over here. Alright, you circle your 5. Since it's not equal to, you don't fill it in. And everything bigger than 5 is the answer. So you shade in to the right. That's it. So let's do another one. This one's a little bit harder. How do I get rid of the 3/4? Well, first thing I'm going to do is bring down my less than sign. And the way I get rid of 3/4 is by multiplying by its reciprocal, which is 4/3 on both sides. These cross out, you get x is less than 4 over 15, which is the answer. Now let's draw our number line. Here's 0, 1, 2. Negative 1, negative 2. Now 4/15 is somewhere between 1 and 0. So I'm going to draw a little circle and call it 4/15. I don't fill it in because it's not equal to, and it's everything that's less than. So I'm going to fill in everything less than, which is this way. And I'm done. That's all there is to it. Now there's only one weird situation when we're doing inequalities. And that's with negatives. Everything else is like an equal sign. Besides, your answer includes a lot more answers. So when we're doing equal sign, or even less than sign, it throws in a loop a little bit. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So here we have a negative sign. And we all know that 2 is less than 1. So if I divide 2 by 2 by negative 2, I have to divide Actually, I have to divide 1 by 2. And I would get negative 1 is less than 1/2. Which so far, that's right. It's true. Now let's back up a little bit. This is where it gets different. Let's say I wanted to get rid of the negative part. So I'm going to divide by negative 2 on both sides. Well, the negatives will cancel out, and so will the 2, so we're left with just 1 on this side. Is less than negative 1/2. Now wait a minute. 1's not less than negative 1/2. That doesn't make sense. So this is what I'm going to tell you. Every time that you divide or multiply by a negative, you switch this sign. So in other words, it's supposed to look like this. So remember, so every time you divide or multiply by a negative, you flip the sign. That's extremely, extremely important. So let's try this one. I know I'm going to have to divide, so I'm going to bring down my less than sign. I divide this side and this side by negative 2. Now, I told you that every time you divide by negative, you flip this sign. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it. Now I'm going to divide. These cancel out. You get x is greater than negative 3. So any number that's greater than negative 3 is the answer for this problem. So let's draw a number line. Circle it. Anything bigger would be this way. So any of these answers. So let's plug in a 0 to just check it out, because 0 is part of that answer. So back up here. Negative 2 times 0 is less than 6. Well, negative 2 times 0 is 0, and that is definitely less than 6. So it checks out. We're good. We did it right. If we hadn't have flipped the sign, it would have said 0 is greater than 6, which wouldn't make sense. Always make sure that your problem makes sense, so plug it back in just to check it. And that's it, folks. I'll see you tomorrow.